Aquas, hello, my loves. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I hope that y'all are doing well. Aquas, y'all got Alithia and the castle, the medallion, the heart, the nectar, and the lover. Well, I mean, the castle is the idea of destination stagnation. It's where everybody thinks that they want to be until they get there and they realize that it's cold and drafty and very uncomfortable. And I just feel like there's this recognition of, I don't know, y'all have had some super extreme reads lately, but I just feel like there's a recognition that when you try to, well, because Aquarians are very militant, I mean, you're outside of the box, right? And we love aquas because aquas are brilliant. We love aquas because they care about humanity. We love aquas because they do tend to have a different approach. There are a lot of beautiful things about Aquarians, right? But y'all are also fixed, and you can be very militant and just like, right, because you're the cup bearers, and and it's like the emotion is disconnected from you, like, you know what I mean. And I just kind of feel like this: you can't be for the people if you're not of the people, you know. The people won't have you, because you're the problem. You're the independent party that separates the other parties. You're the, you know what I mean. It's just kind of like, however that plays out for you, because I don't know how it will play out for you. And is it you because you're a bad person and you're the problem? No, I don't think that I think that the problem that most of us face in society in general is that most people are like, I'm not the problem, it's them. But they don't do anything to change the problem. They come up with all these ideas to distract everybody from the issue, but they don't actually deal with the issue. And they end up causing more division in the end. You know what I mean? And I just kind of feel like this, yeah. You can't argue with that. You just can't. But I feel like there is a sense of going in a new direction, of realigning your focus, of breaking out of the box that you were out hanging out in, that was just really separating you from, I don't know, I just feel like you completely separated from connection. Yeah, the school board thing is just like heavy in my head right now, but it's true. The government isn't aware of the people. The school boards aren't aware of what the schools need. The churches aren't aware of what the soul aches for. You know what I mean? Like, everybody wants to throw doctrine and rhetoric around like they're saving the world, but they're fucking causing the fires left and right. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at this one, it's blue. Oh, look at this one, it's red. Oh, fire, fire, fire. You know what I mean? Like a bunch of pyros running around. But aquas, like, again, I don't think that that's ever your intention, but there has just been this idea of like, if every time you touch something, it turns to ash, then maybe you need to come up with a different form of connection, a different form of touch. However that plays out for you. Um, but again, I feel like you're doing that because all of these things here that are coming from this truth that frees you from the castle. Let's do clarifiers. Aquas, yes. I do love my aquas, but like, there's a point where I think that I find myself oftentimes disagreeing with them in a way that seems to be very similar each time, and every time it seems to be with like a stubbornness that is completely disconnected from like the very thing that they're trying to do. Um, because again, that stubbornness, that like, I'm going to push you in the direction that I think you need to go because I know this. And it's like, again, congratulations that you read these books. Congratulations that you have this knowledge. Great. Go use it somewhere where you can boss people around and tell them what to do. you will never be my boss. You ain't the boss of me, bitch. You know what I mean? But that's a feel. I feel like either you feel that way about somebody, because Aqua's obviously, these are general reads, and you can be dealing with this energy in so many different arenas. And you know, like if you're dealing with somebody at work and they just like they think they know what's best, and they every time they implement something new, like shit gets like they order this machine and now they don't have the right machine, and then they go and they do this and now they don't have the right that, and it's like, but they're over here telling everybody how they know what's best, and they're in control, and they're the one that, you know, like but every time they turn around, people are quitting because people who micromanage and control and dictate, like I mean, especially the younger generation. The younger they get, like the less willing they are to just adhere, just hand over respect that isn't earned. You know, like the second you demand it is the second you lose it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, because the only people who demand respect are the people who aren't capable of earning it. But you know that. And I feel like you're not going to be held back by previous hurdles, right? You're on the path of evolution, progress, development, movement, change, real change, actual change. Not a bunch of people who sit around talking about how they're going to change things while they try to turn everybody else into them. I love that there's a sense of magic here, because when you exit the energy of the dictator, you enter into an energy of knowing, of an energy of magic. Well, I do. I feel like an energy that supersedes the scepter, because I don't know, it just keeps coming through, but I just feel like I mean, in the protests, like there's no king who gets to smack you around and tell you the direction that you need to go because he decided. There's no emperor. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's this sense of like the people wanting to rise and take down the emperor, and like the emperor's table, like the council of the emperor. And it's like, no, like if you're the council of the emperor, then you're the problem. Right? Because you don't care about the people any more than the emperor does. Whether it is political, whether it is religious, whether it is in your career, whether it is in your community, these energies exhibit themselves over and over and over again. And we are stuck in an energetic pattern as a society. And you either stay in that or you go into a different one, but you don't live in between. Because energy moves your thoughts, your behaviors, your patterns, your decisions, your subconscious. Right? Ooh, glad we are getting this. Yay! I don't know, because there are some aquas in my life, and not all aquas, right? Not all. I really and truly, I struggle with, you know, like a low level energy that seems to think that if you say you've had a bad experience with one sign, that now means that you hate all of those signs. Like, oh, you hate aquas or you hate whatever. And it's like, no, I don't. I really don't. I actually love a lot of aquas. I think that there are healthy, emotionally intelligent, conscious aquas who recognize their hurdles and overcome them in the same way that there are healthy, conscious other signs that recognize, because we all have our hurdles. You know, so to say there are shadow state aquas that we're dealing with is not to hate all aquas. You know, but like whoever lays that accusation, is very clearly emotionally stunted. So please take your viewings to channels that encourage that level of consciousness. We don't operate in that level here. Aquas, you know that. You know it's good. You know what's up. You know. Well, yes, because I think that Aquas do have a consciousness of discipline. That's that militant energy, right? No energy in and of itself is a positive or negative energy. It's what we do with that energy that makes it positive or negative. And I feel like when you can recognize that, like your militant energy can be transmuted into an energy of discipline, an energy of, like something that serves as a backbone, because you need that discipline, you need that backbone, you need that unwavering mentality. But like it need not be misproperly used, because if it is a detriment, not a help. You know what I mean? And so there is either or, there is or. You know what I mean? And I feel like, yeah, there's an awareness of that, an awareness that you can't, I just feel like, hide in the shadows and expect to be free and clear from the purging. If you hide in the shadows, you live in the shadows. I mean, like, that's pretty, right? That makes sense to everybody, yeah? Yeah, well, because the only people who exchange, right, like, I'll let people get away with things if I want them to let me get away with things, right? I'm not gonna ask people to hold any standard of themselves if I want them to not hold a standard for me. You know what I mean? And so you just, like, you can only when you're not of that mentality, you can only surround yourself with people who hold them to the same standard, hold themselves to a same standard of integrity, a same standard of morale. Like, there's no, when it's convenient for you, it's when it's convenient for everyone. And I think that Aquas get that, but, like, also there's a sense of self-accountability. You're not just outside of everyone and therefore unaccountable, which I feel like there's been this sense of, like, well, I'm not accountable for it because of this. And it's like, well, I mean, then stay in the shadows. Stay in the land of a lack of accountability, because that land is chaotic and unnecessary and not welcome. That energy is unnecessary and not welcome. Yeah. It does. It feels very black and white. It's like there's no gray area here. Not at the divergence. Not when we're separating energies. It's just not a thing, So, yeah, I mean, I feel like that felt really specific, but I don't really know in terms of who or for what, because I know I have a lot of people who have come into my energetic field who have a different energy, and I'm glad, like, welcome. Thanks for being here. I hope that you find this useful. I hope that you find encouragement where you need it. I hope that you feel as though it helps you to strengthen your skill of discernment, because that's just a really important skill. And I feel like sometimes Aquas, because you're so much for the people, you can struggle with discernment amongst the people, because they're very abstract.